water. Mr. Chairman, the Secretary reports he requires 5 minutes to perform the tabulation.
Okay, the Secretary has reported to the Chair that he's going to require 5 minutes for tabulation.
I motion that while he tabulates that, we vote for elector.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to go ahead, and while that 5 minutes is occurring, to go ahead and move forward with the next order of business, which is the election of the electors. Okay, seeing a second, is there any discussion or debate? No. Seeing none, the motion before you is to move forward with the order of business and conduct the election of the electors. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye! All those opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. At this time, I would like to commence with the next order of business. At this point, we will move forward with the next order of business, which is the election of the presidential electors. The rules state the same procedure shall be followed for nominating and electing 2 presidential electors, except that speeches shall be limited to 1 minute to be used at the nominee's discretion. Each presidential elector nominee shall present the required affidavit to the convention secretary prior to voting for electors. Now, the chair rules that the nominees that were put forward by the executive committee did in fact deliver their required affidavit to the convention secretary prior to voting for electors. And the chair would call for any other further nominations from the floor which also meet these requirements. Second. Hearing none, and a motion to cease further nominations or to close nominations. Second. And being seconded.
What's going on here?
It's an electrical.
The motion on the floor right now is to proceed with the closing of the nominations. Right now, the chair recognizes the nominations of, let me see here, just 1 second. Do we know the nominations?
Well, I nominate Lynn Wendell.
Wait. I thought you closed from nominations.
Wait, was there a motion to close?
Yes. The nominations put forward by the executive committee are the only ones in nomination.
And it was seconded,
Okay.
so we need to vote on that.
So we need to vote on the motion to close nominations.
I motion that because those that were submitted by the executive committee are the only ones that filled out the paperwork, we elect them by acclamation. That motion is in order.
The chair would rule that motion would be out of order unless a suspension of the rules occurs.
And I motion that we suspend the rules in order to elect them by acclamation, since they were the only ones that filled out the appropriate paperwork and signed the affidavits accordingly.
So would your motion also entail that you would suspend the rules and then reenact the same version of the rules?
Point of order.
Okay, hold on.
Point of order.
The state party rules requires that electors be elected in a particular manner. And let me read that.
Is your camera?
Pursuant to Oklahoma state laws, the Oklahoma Republic.
Order! Continue.
Pursuant to Oklahoma state laws, the Oklahoma Republican Party shall nominate a number of electors for President and Vice President of the United States of America equal to the number of United States Senators, United States Representatives which the state is entitled to elect. Therefore, each congressional district convention shall elect 1 presidential elector and 1 alternate presidential elector who shall subscribe the duties of said office. The state convention held in the same presidential election year shall elect 2 presidential electors and 2 alternate presidential electors who shall subscribe the duties of said office. I thought there was a more specific process to this, but I'm not finding it. So I believe it would be okay to
Parliamentarian, would you concur with that opinion?
Just a moment.
Bear with us while we get an opinion from the parliamentarian. Is that a 60D?
No, it's a 5D Mark II.
Oh, nice.
Better.
I know. I see no requirement.
Yeah, I do.
Stipulating the method of.
What do you think of the Mark III?
just as crappy.
Okay, it is the opinion of the parliamentarian that there is no other further requirements due to state party rules. Have you also reviewed the RNC rules?
What do you have for the convention?
The convention. Okay. So, the convention rules, your motion is to suspend the convention rules and then to reenact, to reenact a modified version which would allow for the election of the electors and alternates by acclamation. Do I hear a point of order? Okay. So the question before you is whether or not the convention should suspend the rules in order to reenact a modified version of those same rules, modifying the preference or the way in which we handle the election.
But these were not submitted to the convention center.
Right. In order to elect the nominated electors and alternates by acclamation. These electors and alternates would be named by the convention chair. I know we have Lynn Wendell.
Who were the other nominees? The four that were on the executive.
They're not printed on the slate though.
Put forth by the executive committee.
Point of information.
What's your point of information?
The conservative value slate, alternate slate, was elected with 99.05% of the roll call vote.
Okay, the alternate delegates have been elected, and it is the conservative value slate alternates as read to you before by 99% plus. This time the secretary will report the results by number.
Are these ineligible?
No, we were.
Yeah, man, it's all right.
The exact number of votes,
You know, the autofocus.
I didn't.
The new one, yeah.
the apportioned of all votes for slate A, alternate slate, the conservative value slate was 626. For slate B, the executive committee's delegate slate, which was re-nominated to alternate slate status, received 6 votes, and the executive committee's original alternate slate received 0 votes.